Tezos is a blockchain network that is similar to Ethereum in that it is based on smart contracts. However, there is a significant difference. Tezos seeks to provide more advanced infrastructure, which means it may evolve and improve over time without the risk of a hard fork. Since their inception, both Bitcoin and Ethereum have suffered from this problem. People who hold XTZ can vote on proposals for protocol upgrades that have been put forward by Tezos developers. Arthur Brightman was the man who wrote the Tezos white paper, and in a nod to Satoshi Nakamoto, he wrote his works under the pen name Ellen Goodman. He argued that one of Bitcoin's biggest failings was the lack of a governance process that invited contributions from the community who used the network, as well as the fact that new tokens couldn't be issued through this blockchain. He and his wife, Kathleen, founded a startup called Dynamic Ledger Solutions, which was tasked with writing the code that would underpin the Tezos protocol. This company was subsequently purchased by the Tezos Foundation to ensure that it owned all of the intellectual property rights relating to the network. Let's dive a little deeper into the Tezos protocol, shall we? Tezos is an open-source proof-of-stake blockchain network that offers peer-to-peer transactions via its native XTZ cryptocurrency called Tezos through its decentralized platform by deploying smart contracts. The project sees four main issues plaguing popular networks like Bitcoin, which are the first one, protocol fork problems arising from the inability of a particular network to adapt to blockchain modifications, costs incurred as well as centralization problems caused by the use of the proof of work transaction language limitation of Bitcoin's programming model, causing the difficulty in implementing smart contracts, and security concerns on the adoption of digital assets. Now, how does Tezos' self-amending model work? There are three main protocols that function as the backbone of XTZ platform. The first one is Network Protocol. Network Protocol is designed to determine blocks and broadcast them through the chain. The second one, Transaction Protocol. The Transaction Protocol governs the validity of transactions. It has a record of all blockchain information, including peer-to-peer interactions. The third one and the last one is Consensus Protocol. The Consensus Protocol enables the platform to reach consensus on the state of the blockchain. This is also where the DPoS model comes into play. Through DPoS, that is Delegated Proof of Stake, this setup grants its stakeholders the ability to participate in important protocol and governance decisions through an on-chain governance model. Let's talk about the transaction processing speed of Tezos. Tezos is capable of facilitating as much as 40 transactions per second. This is much higher than the TPS achieved by Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is at 4.6 and 15 TPS respectively. However, this is much lesser compared to some of the new cryptocurrencies like Solana, XRP, and Cardano that have come into the cryptocurrency space. Let's talk about some of the regulatory concerns that Tezos has faced. Tezos drew the ire of investors and regulators for its record-breaking initial coin offering, which raised a staggering $232 million. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) considered Tezos' ICO to be an unlicensed securities offering, the same charge they are bringing against Ripple in 2021, and began investigating the project for possible regulatory prosecution. However, a class action lawsuit from law firm Block and Levitan in 2020 that resulted in a $25 million settlement with Tezos is likely to have appeased the SEC enough for the time being. Tezos had problems within the Tezos itself. Looking at where the project is today, it hasn't failed on its promise to create a protocol that can develop on its own without hard forks. However, the events that transpired after its ICO has proven that it was Tezos' own team that was not completely safe from the problem they were trying to address, that is, division. As many may remember, the founders Arthur and Kathleen Brightman created a Swiss foundation back when Tezos was created in order to have a greater autonomy over the assets of the platform. However, because of Swiss regulations that they apparently did not fully think through, when they made that decision, their own board of directors gained the same capacity to control the assets of the foundation. Then Foundation President Johan Gevers dominated Tezos-related news at the time as he locked Tezos' assets away from the Brightmans. Several legal actions have been filed since then, since then aiming to oust Johann Gravels from the foundation. It was only when the Brightmans recovered control of the project's source code that they were able to get back to working on Tezos. There were other events that added to the controversy of Tezos' development. Among them, Tezos' sudden implementation of Know Your Client or anti-money laundering requirements to token holders. However, even if bad press clouded Tezos' reputation towards its own community, it remained steadfast on its promise to create a unique blockchain platform. There are many dApps on Tezos protocols such as CryptTez, a non-fungible token-based NFT fantasy sports dApp for cricket, stably a USD-backed stablecoin, Wrap Protocol, Ethereum, and Tezos Bridge, and many others. Tezos smart contracts are self-executing agreements that run autonomously. Any party to a smart contract can set specific conditions that have to be met before any action is made in fulfillment of a contract obligation. Michelson is the programming language that Tezos uses for its smart contracts. Michelson is a strongly typed stack-based language. In Ethereum, smart contracts are written in Solidity or Viper, and they get compiled to EVM bytecode, which then gets executed in the Ethereum virtual machine. In Tezos, code itself gets to run in the Tezos VM. What is the advantage of this approach? It can be easily read by humans, which will help in building the correctness proofs. Let's learn how to stake Tezos. Since the platform runs under the DPoS model, it does not have any mining requirements. Instead, it implements staking. To do so, an XTZ holder must stake their coins in a smart contract, which lets them delegate their tokens to a specific baker. Bakers function similarly with validators and miners. They are tasked with maintaining the integrity and health of the chain by approving transactions that are considered valid. They also earn rewards for their work, which they share in proportion to the amount that they lock in the smart contract. The minimum requirement for anyone who wants to set up a Tezos node and become a baker must have at least 8,000 XTZ, also called 1 row. Tezos versus Cardano. Cardano is one of the Tezos' biggest POS competitors. Both platforms seek to create a decentralized chain where its own stakeholders have a bigger influence on how the network is run. Both are also smart contract and dApp platforms. However, in terms of the adaptability of their chains, Tezos appears to have the upper hand. Most upgrades in Cardano take too long before they're implemented, since Cardano also has to undergo several rigorous reviews before its actual rollout. This is also why network upgrades happen less often on Cardano. Ethereum has the first mover advantage against Tezos, hence it also has a bigger community. But from where they stand today, Ethereum lags behind Tezos in terms of transaction throughput and has faced many problems with the gas fees and network congestion. As already mentioned, Tezos 40 TPS is much faster than Ethereum's 15 TPS, but in terms of developer interest, Ethereum stands a greater advantage than Tezos thanks to the size of its community. And considering the launch of Ethereum 2.0, developers will find a much greater incentive to continue working on its chain since it already addresses the problems faced by other networks. I guess we will have to just wait and see who wins. Tezos has already partnered with a number of institutions, including the Taurus Group, Anda Capital, the Korea University Blockchain Research Institute, and others. Arguably, their most noteworthy partnership is with Coinbase, where Coinbase users can stake their Tezos. Although, if users go down this route, they have to be okay with trusting Coinbase, a centralized exchange, with their XTZ. Now with that, we'll be ending this video. Let us know if you think Tezos is the Ethereum killer. Like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.